Right now, let's meet the newest driver on the unlimited circuit with a brand new boat powered by Ford engines, 2 of them, and it's called the Stroh Light. Wheeler Baker, rookie in this division. Wheeler, you've got to be excited to come up to the big guys.
Oh yeah, this is what everybody dreams about. We started out in limited, been running down there for years, and now we have an opportunity. Stroh's gave us a chance to go for it, and we're going to try it.
You think that automotive power can beat what's here in the aircraft power?
I think once we get the bugs worked out of the boat and the engine, we get everything dialed in. I feel that with the power to weight ratio that we've worked out on paper, we've got a good chance. I think we might be the wave of the future. There's a lot more corporate sponsorship for these automotive powered type engines there are than the Lycoming helicopter engines, and we feel that all you got to do is take a look at NASCAR, look what they've done the last 10 years, and maybe we could do something for the sport.
Well, it's certainly going to be a story to develop as we continue on the circuit. The Miss Budweiser, Tom Deeth, will lead the pack in Heat 2A. Oh boy, Alberto, a winner already today. George Woods Jr. in the U2. The Miss DOC, rookie driver Stephen David, still trying to keep the boat up there in the points. And the Paddock Pools partial development boat, the U7, Jerry Hopp, the driver. Rounding out the field, the U8, Mr. Pringles, Scotty Pierce.
We're under the 1-minute gun by the Detroit Yacht Club as they come around for the start. Mr. Pringles, Scotty Pierce could not get the engine going. Paddock Pools, Jerry Hopp was out, and now it's going to be down to a 3-boat race as the, whoa, look out, the Budweiser didn't hold the turn. Looks like Tommy Deeth got in some problem. He's going dead in the rooster tail, and it's going to be a good start for old boy Alberto. Budweiser's down in the water, and this DOC will come across the line second, Dick.
So it is oh boy Alberto heading down the long stretch to turn number 1 here on the Detroit River course. DOC is now in second place. Budweiser is trying to get back up on plane. Tommy Deeth trying to determine if any damage was done to the boat or not. Meanwhile, oh boy Alberto is out all alone in front. Now he's not aware the Budweiser's out of it. For all he knows, the Budweiser's somewhere back in that rooster tail, so he's keeping the power on.
Down here in front of the pit area right now, the Budweiser is starting to get going again. Tommy Deeth winding the spools of the turbine. Here's our second place boat, Miss DOC.
The temperature continues to climb here in Detroit, and through the heat waves you can see the leader, George Woods Jr. And there's the Budweiser. Budweiser is back up on plane. He's got a long way to go, but if anybody can do it, Tommy Deeth is certainly capable. He knows this river. It's his home port.
He'll have a long way to go to catch the number 1 boat. He's underway, as you can see the air under the bottom of the boat. Here's our leader coming around off of corner number 4 in front of the pit area across from the Detroit Yacht Club.
Miss DOC, Stephen David, still holding very solid in second place. If anybody has to be concerned about the Budweiser at this point, it has to be Stephen David. Now, neither of these boats are aware the Budweiser is back up on plane. Both of them by now know that the boat did not make a good start, but they're not sure where he is. Budweiser has already moved up, and as we were talking, Budweiser passes Stephen David and the Miss DOC. So already Tommy Deeth has come up to second place in this race.
All Bernie Little could hope for with this backup boat and the driver in this particular cockpit for the first time is to get some points to keep him in the national race, make a good showing here in Detroit, and Tommy Deeth is out to do just that.
Well, you look at the damage. You can see the damage on the end of the turbine, the exhaust off of the turbine. Looking very closely at it, when he hit into that water, it actually punched it in on the side. That could affect the efficiency of the turbine engine. No problem at all with the piston engine, however. The reciprocal, oh boy Alberto, continues to churn up the river. Look at the bounce as he comes through the rooster tail.
And he has no cowling in the back of his cockpit. Usually has the cowling back there. The engine is completely exposed. 125.5, the fastest lap so far for old boy Alberto here in Heat 2A.
And here comes the checkered flag out for oh boy Alberto's second win of the day. George Woods has got to be celebrating in that cockpit. He won down in Miami for the first time. Now he comes to Detroit. He already has 2 wins under his belt. George Woods Jr. in the oh boy Alberto. So, oh boy Alberto proving itself in a world of turbines out on this Detroit River course. And speaking of turbines, here comes the second place boat. Quite a story to be told here. Tommy Deeth in the Miss Budweiser, damaged exhaust off of that turbine, but he still manages second place. A good ride for him, and I'm sure he's going to feel real good about the points that he's going to get in this. And there's the checkered flag for third place, Miss DOC. Let's talk about the combined heat points now at this point in the day. The Oh Boy Alberto is in the final at 800 points. Miss Budweiser is on the bubble at 427. Miss DOC at 450. Mr. Pringles did not start this heat. He now has 394 from the earlier heat. Let's go to the pit and Jim Hendrick.
Getting to be a habit, George Woods, but you had problems in the first turn. What was wrong?
Actually, it was coming down to the start. In the first turn, it was no problem at all. We had lots of room down there, ran through it. I guess some of the guys were saying got a little tight down here. I didn't really see too much of it, Jim.
Okay, we noticed the Budweiser hooked it. You didn't see him.
No, I didn't see him at all, Jim.
Let's find out right now from Dick Crippen what happened from the Budweiser driver point of view.
Tommy, did you have more power problem out there?
Oh, I just got screwed up a little bit on the start, and I got there a little early, and then I went after the power, and there was a little lag with the turbo, and it just wouldn't come on when I wanted it to, and it's my fault, I think, as far as, I just didn't anticipate to start quick enough.
But boy, once you got that thing going, my friend, it looked like it worked out okay.
Well, when George went by me, some of his skid fin wake hit the, the cowling and went into the motor and killed the motor. It's not his fault, but I had to just take time to get it restarted and then start chasing and try and get some points.
We're getting ready for the final elimination heat of the day. The whole set Miss Madison and the Sutphin Spirit getting ready to enter the field of 4 boats for that final elimination. And we'll be back with more action from the Detroit River after this timeout. Jim Hendrick along with Dick Crippen back here on the Detroit River, a familiar logo. Old friends are back in town and have rejoined the Unlimited Circuit. Dick Crippen has the story. Dick?
Well, it's been several years since we've seen the pink of Circus Circus on the Unlimited course. We've missed the shocking pink.
Well, we're happy to be back. We took a few years off. We had a lot of hotels and casinos to build. Of course, we're still building, but we thought now's the time to get back in the boat racing. We're happy to be here. We think we've got a good team, a good driver, a good crew, and all the things that go with it. So, again, we're happy to see all of our fans who have been loyal all these years while we're gone, but we hope we don't disappoint them.
Well, I got to say, you come in right at the top of the heap. I mean, you're going turbine power right off. No more of the revolutionary changes at this point. You're going to go in there and try to go for it right off.
That's right, but we do have some revolutionary things in the background, and we'll do those later on, but we figured we'd go with the tried and proven turbine and get the job done. But when you have a chairman of the board like William G. Bennett, he makes you keep thinking ahead. You can do what you're doing now, but don't give up. Keep thinking of something different, a way to do it better and quicker.
Vice President of Circus Circus, Mel Larson. Well, it's not to be. The boat has problems. They'll have to wait to the Gold Cup for their first competitive experience.
John Prevost and crew will be back to the drawing boards and working on that one, you can bet. Miller High Life will lead things off in Heat 2B. Chip Hanauer, the driver. Ron Snyder aboard the community-owned Holset Miss Madison. Larry Lauterbach driving Steve Wilmer's competition specialties. Rounding out the field will be Mike Hansen driving Richie Sutphin's Sutphin Spirit, a boat that turns some heads.
We are only seconds away now from Heat 2B. The boats are up around corners 3 and 4 by the Rooster Tail and by the pit area. It looks like they might just be a little bit early. Looks like, and they can't jump that clock, Dick.
They've got to slow it down a little bit. Some of the boats almost off plane, but Miller High Life looks like he's in good position. He's all the way to the right of your screen as he comes up on the inside lane. Now they're back up on plane. Power is back in. There's the start. You heard the gun in the background. Miller High Life takes the lead. Holset Miss Madison on the outside. We've got 3 turbines and 1 reciprocal in this field.
As they come down the corner number 1 by the Belle Isle Bridge, the boat to the far right on the inside is the Miller High Life with the lead over the competition specialties, the Sutphin Spirit and the Holset Miss Madison. There's your leader in the apex of corners 1 and 2, coming by the Detroit Boat Club on the western end of this course.
Chip Hanauer with a win already. He's already got 400 points. He would like to make it a perfect day if he can by getting 400 more points to qualify for the final heat here on Detroit later this afternoon. A good run for him down the backstretch. This should be a good place on the course. Earlier in the first heat that he ran today, he was roughing up a little bit on that backstretch. Right now, holding tight on the water. Watch him as he comes into the Rooster Tail turn. All of a sudden, you'll see an additional Rooster Tail spurt up off the side of the boat. There it goes. That's off of the skid fin. It's that fin hanging down off of the sponson to his left as he's aimed the boat, and it holds him on the water.
There you go. 1, 2, 3. You have the Miller to the right. In the center, competition specialties on the outside was the Sutphin Spirit. And here's the Holset Miss Madison. A conventional hydroplane, former pan pack, former Atlas Van Lines, and now Holset Miss Madison looking for their new boat in a couple of races.
Boy, and you can bet they are anxious to get it out there because it's a good-looking boat. Miller High Life in at 128.425 miles per hour. There you see Chip Hanauer. He's got to have a big grin on his face as he pilots that turbine-powered boat in the open air of the Detroit River.
And this will be the last year he'll be able to go open air. 1989, all boats, new and old, will have to go with the bubble top, the canopy.
There you see Sutphin Spirit, and that boat really has had an excellent day out here today and is certainly far from being off the pace. The Holset Miss Madison, they just want to keep compiling those points until the new boat is ready.
Came awful close to that brick wall off of corner number 4. Gave some 60,000 fans in that section of the course a little bath. There's over 575,000 here on hand to the Detroit River. What a crowd.
They have 2 flags ready off the starter's tower right now. The green flag for the Holset Miss Madison, but the checkered flag will fly out for the Miller High Life. Miller High Life on the inside takes the checkered and wins Heat 2B, and that means a perfect day so far for Chip Hanauer. And again, we stress that in Miami, the first race of the season, Chip was unable to even get a point in all of the heats that he was qualified for.
And the average winning speed for Chip Hanauer, 120.8. He has a perfect day of 800 points and is tied going into the final with Oberto, each with 800. Here is Michael Hansen, Sutphin Spirit, a second-place finish. He totals now 600 points for the day. And coming down for third place in Heat 2B, competition specialties with Larry Lauterbach. Here are the total points through 2 heats of action. Miller High Life has 800, Sutphin Spirit 600, competition specialties 525, and the Holset Miss Madison just 394. Now let's go to the pits in the winner's circle.
Well, Chip, I know this isn't getting monotonous, but that was almost a flawless run out there.
Yeah, the Miller High Life run's good in this kind of race course. It's an old boat, but it deals with rough water really well. It's what we call a dead boat, meaning it doesn't react to every little bump and wave out there. It absorbs them and just goes ahead and goes on.
We got some close-up shots of you out there, and it's obvious you have great confidence in this boat.
Yeah, and that's why I went back to this boat at the beginning. The other boat, I don't have that confidence in. I struggled with it all year, and this boat feels like that old nice pair of Levi's or that old pair of tennis shoes that you feel real comfortable in. And on the Detroit River, comfort means a lot.
The final field is set. The finals here in Detroit, Michigan, and we'll have all the action after this timeout. Down to our final field of 5 boats as the fans await the exciting conclusion of today's race. Now let's go down to the pit area. Dick Crippen. Dick?
Larry Lauterbach is a guy who's literally come up through the ranks, and now here it is, unlimited hydroplane racing, and what a way to go at it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it, Dick. You know, I've had the opportunity in the past to drive these things, and never had what I thought was the ride that I wanted. Now I've got the opportunity, I got to show that I can do it.
What is the difference when you get into one of these big unlimiteds?
Well, the biggest is the mass size of the boat, I found, though. I ran the boat in Las Vegas last year. Of course, the enclosed canopy it takes some accustoming to getting used to and all. But the mass weight of the boat, trying to manhandle 5,000 pounds compared to 2,000 pounds on my Grand Prix boats, that took a little getting used to. And of course, the speed, 180, 190 mile an hour shoot speed we're running here with 150 mile an hour in the Grand Prix, that 30 miles an hour, believe me, is a big difference.
And it all comes down to this, the final field, the run for the money. Chip Hanauer will drive the Miller High Life. Tommy DeHeath and Bernie Little's Miss Budweiser in the final field. George Woods will drive Old Boy Alberto. He's had a perfect day so far, 800 points. The alternate, should any one boat not be running at the 1-minute gun, Ron Snyder in the Holset Miss Madison. The rest of the final field include Larry Lauterbach in the competition specialties and Michael Hansen in the Sutphin Spirit.
We have just a little over 20 seconds to the start of the final heat here on the Detroit River. It is a flying start, these boats topping 150 miles an hour easily on the start of this race, and here they are forming up.
Tommy DeHeath will have to watch as a spectator. Miss Budweiser is on the infield in corner number 1 and out of the race and will not start.
Here is the start of the race, though, and it is going to be Oh Boy Alberto. George Woods Jr., the Rookie of the Year last year, now taking the lead as they come down into turn number 1. Miller High Life is right next to him in lane number 2. Then it's competition specialties on the outside. It's the Sutphin Special. but it is Miller High Life now starting to edge up, and it looks like he's going to have the lead into the turn. He starts his turn, takes over the lead. Chip Hanauer on his way to victory in this, the final heat of the day for all the marbles, the championship here on the Detroit River.
Hall said Miss Madison was way back in the pack, just trying to get some points as they approach the Gold Cup for the next race. Whoa! The Miller High Life come bouncing. He hit kind of hard. Dick, is his horizontal stabilizer, does that look loose?
It certainly does, right in the center. It looks like on that shock when he hit in that hole in the water, he loosened up the stabilizer, and it looks like it's cracked right in the center. Look at the competition here with Oh Boy Alberto on the right of your screen, and off to the left, it is competition specialties.
And he's on the inside of the Miller High Life as Chip Hanauer brings it around corner number 4 and down to complete lap number 1, and he's getting a rough ride right now. Let's take a good look at that horizontal stabilizer. It is weakened. Yes, it is.
Look at those boats power around. Oh Boy Alberto getting a wild ride into the turn. All of the boats seem to be roughed up just a little bit out here. They are really powering on. The Sutphin Spirit, Mike Hansen, getting a good ride way to the outside. But look at Miller High Life. Miller High Life, Chip Hanauer, just a great, great ride.
And he's getting airborne a little bit too. He's not taking it all that great, but probably the best of the 4 boats in competition.
Again, a good head-on shot as you can see that prop turning. Look at Oh Boy Alberto gets loose out of the water. George Woods, I bet he pushed in on that steering wheel that time.
He better, because he was doing a little kiting right now in rough water down in corner number 1 as he comes by the Belle Isle Bridge. George Woods is getting a ride, and boy, he's come a long way since his rookie year last year.
When you take a ride like that and you stay on the power, you know that the driver has tremendous confidence in the boat. Here's a young man with that confidence, the Sutphin Spirit, riding in second place to the Miller High Life boat. Chip Hanauer still holding on to the lead, but Sutphin Special is trying to move up in there if he possibly can. He's got a good ride. He is staying a little bit on the outside. Look at those sponsons dance back and forth. That's okay. When they get too high, then they start to worry about it. The drivers get used to the boat kind of bouncing back and forth and tiptoeing across the water.
Dick, I'll tell you, any driver who has driven this course before will tell you, you never beat the Detroit River, you only survive it. And they are echoing the first words of Bill Munsey when he first uttered that comment. And it's a true story. 126.8 was the fastest lap number 1 for the Miller High Life. Then Chip Hanauer slowed it down to 118.5, 115.3, and now 110.3 as the water gets rougher and rougher for the lead boat.
And as you look at the lead boat, you can see how the horizontal stabilizer in the center is bouncing. That's the indication that they have a broken stabilizer wing there, so he's got to be aware of that too. I don't know whether he can see that with his rear view mirrors because that's a pretty sharp angle back. But he is aware, I'm sure, that something is wrong with the boat. So he's keeping his speeds very consistent at this point.
And the consistency is in the Sutphin Spirit. He's run a 111, 110 for 4 straight laps now. In fact, on lap number 4, he was a little faster than the lead boat and caught up a little bit.
Here's another boat doing a very good job. And when we talk consistency, George Woods and the Oh Boy Alberto has been right in there. Miller High Life on the backstretch now coming into the Rooster Tail turn. Laps the Holset Miss Madison boat. Chip Hanauer in the final turn of this course. He can see the checkered flag now as it flies off of the start-finish line. Chip Hanauer in the Miller High Life coming home. Checkered flag. He is the winner. A gentleman who had no points at all in Miami in the first race of the season comes home with all the points this time on the Detroit River.
A bent horizontal stabilizer, rough water, lessened the speed. Average winning speed 115.5, 6 miles an hour faster than this boat, Michael Hansen in the Sutphin Spirit. A special education teacher from the state of Washington has been here before and has taken the checker flag again here on the Detroit River in the Budweiser Thunderboat Championships. We'll be back with the winning driver, Chip Hanauer, after this timeout. Over 500,000 people watch these boats weather the storm on the Detroit River in rough water. But the driver who survived was Chip Hanauer. Let's go down now to Dick Crippen.
Absolutely perfect day. Couldn't ask for more. 1,200 points, win everything.
7 days makes a big difference. It was an absolutely horrible day in Miami, and this was a great day. We fastest qualifier, and I think we had the fastest times all day, and except our wing broke.
Yeah, the wing broke. Were you aware of that?
The boat was handling pretty erratic, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I can't see the wing from where I sit, but I knew something was up.
Well, Chip, it's just got to feel great. I mean, this is your season. The season has never started for Chip Hanauer in Miami, but it started in Detroit this year.
Yeah, it did, and it's been typical that way. You know, we've gone to Miami, and I've never had any success there, and we come to Detroit and normally have a good deal of success. So this place has been some magic for me. It's been great.
Detroit is known for the spawning of unlimited powerboat racing, and Detroit welcomes visitors at all times of the year, but the river itself is rough on newcomers. Here's Dick Crippen.
Well, we talk about the Sutphin team. They had a tremendous weekend. Mike, you had to be pleased with the way everything went for you.
Oh, yeah. Most of the things went smooth for us on the water. We had a few problems on the trailer once in a while, but we did a great job out there as far as I'm concerned. We fell one short of what our goal was, but we'll get them next weekend.
Well, your goal realistically had to be just to finish this race in one piece. You did a lot more than that.
Yeah, we did a lot more than that. We heard a few things, but nothing major. The Sutphin Marine guys did an excellent job this winter preparing this boat to get it ready to run, and we're going to be right there in their face all summer long.
Richie, we have kidded you about your offshore experience, saying this was really the one you should have taken. This is the closest you're going to get to offshore racing on this circuit.
Well, we were fortunate enough a couple of years ago, back about 1980, we won the offshore race here, and from what Mike did out there today, that was offshore racing.
Well, first place goes to the Miller High Life team. Chip Hanauer, the driver of that boat, a perfect day, 1,200 points. Sutphin Spirit was second. Oh boy, Alberto, a good showing in third. Hulsett, Miss Madison rounding it out in fourth.